So let's talk about sleep. Can you imagine that I might even tell you that sleep is even more important than nutrition? That's how big this topic is, and I also feel it's completely overlooked. So what is sleep? Sleep is literally your body's best chance to repair. It's where we're really going to give you your best chance to reset your body and to get the energy that you deserve. Sleep is one of the most healing elements that the body has. So it's literally the shutdown of any external stimuli. So why is sleep so important? So as I mentioned, your body is literally in repair mode when you sleep. The brain gets the opportunity to literally translate all of the information that it's been processing through the day and go through its own cleansing process. The organs, they already know exactly when they're going to get this precious time to be able to repair. So between 11 and 3 o'clock, some of those really critical organs like the liver and the gallbladder are going deep into work to detoxify, i.e. remove the toxins from your body because it knows it's going to get that chance to sleep. Your hormones get the chance to reset. So you are not literally surviving on willpower because of your hunger hormones like ghrelin and leptin that are literally out of balance because you've not slept properly. Sleep is an opportunity for your body to restore. It's literally when your body cells are going through their own nourishing process. Sleep improves our cognitive function because as our brain is also getting that chance to repair, we therefore improve our cognitive function because it's well rested and restored. Our immune system, now our bodies have this chance to really detoxify. Our immune system is improved because of our body's ability to have had rest and replenishment. Sleep is so critical to making sure that you are going to feel energized, that you are prepared for every single day, that every muscle, organ, cell in your body has had the chance to work towards its optimal state. Sleep is your key to energy. So let's talk about why sleep hygiene therefore is so important. And what can we do when we're looking at sleep hygiene? Well, the first thing to know is that the reason why sleep is so important is because we were designed to be asleep and to repair at certain periods of the time. So the human's natural sleep cycle is called circadian rhythm. We were designed to be asleep when there was no natural light, i.e. when the sun sets and when the sun rises, that's when we came alive again. So you can see in a modern day world, if you think about when the sun sets and think about when the sun rises, a lot of us are not working towards our natural sleep cycle. So it's no wonder why our body isn't operating in its optimal way. Also, studies suggest from the National Sleep Foundation that the average adult needs between 7 to 9 hours sleep. So think about that, 7 to 9 hours sleep, and when the sun sets, how in sync are you with your human being's natural requirements? These are all things to consider when taking on really good sleep hygiene. So let's start with a typical day and look at how we can incorporate good sleep hygiene practices to get you feeling fully energized in your body. Because I promise you, if you can really look at this element, if you can really fine tune into this aspect of your life, everything could change. So from the moment that we wake up, we can start this sleep hygiene. Now, of course, this already starts even before we wake up in the day before and what we did to prepare for this. But let's start a typical start of the day. So when we wake up, because we were designed to wake with the sunrise, super important to get that sunlight into our retina. Because what that does is starts to stimulate all of our hormones. It tells our body that it should be awake. So you get this natural awakeness in the body that comes from melatonin being reduced. So when we reduce our melatonin, we will naturally start to feel wide and awake and alert, and you'll get that feeling that you've got, where you can feel like you can skip out of bed, and you're not just like snoozing the alarm clock and thinking, how am I going to make it through the day? Getting that sunlight into your eyes within 30 minutes could be really, really helpful to getting that feeling of high energy. So think about how could you do that within your sleep cycle? How could you get this pattern of sleep hygiene? Maybe it should go out on the balcony, you open the window and look at how in your life could you start your day with getting the sunlight directly into your eyes. Then as we go into our day, we're already starting with what we eat for breakfast. Now breakfast, as we know, is breaking the fast. So assuming that our body has had really good restorative sleep and it hasn't spent a lot of time digesting food, then we now need to break the fast with breakfast. So one of the common things that disturbs our sleep is caffeine. So if you are a coffee drinker, this morning time is a great time to have your coffee fix. This could be the time when you're not going to have any impact of that caffeine onto your sleep later on, because caffeine can take up to 7 hours to completely come out of the body. Now I know for all you coffee drinkers, as we've mentioned before, you might be thinking coffee doesn't affect me, but we are talking about the deep sleep that it affects, that REM, which is that crucial part of the sleep when your body is doing a lot of the repair work. For us, it's not just about the length of sleep, it's about the quality of the sleep that you're getting. So unless you've been wired up to a brain monitor, even if you think you can sleep well on coffee, how have you monitored your quality of your sleep against how caffeine affects you? So as we work through the day then, we want to think about the meals that we eat, because 70% of our body's energy can be used to digest food. So we definitely don't want to be digesting large amounts of food in the evening when our body is winding down. Because the sun is setting, we are in sync with the sun. We know that our energy levels are going to be a lot lower. So therefore, we really don't want to be using that energy to digest food. So a good practice for sleep hygiene is to try to make your biggest meal of the day in the middle of the day. So that means later in the day, if you do get hungry, you only need something lighter that's not really going to be impacting your digestion. So as we go through the day then, in the middle of the day, you might want another coffee. If you have that, great. So try to have that no later than 1 o'clock. And also if you're extremely sensitive to any caffeine, that might need to be slightly earlier for you. But you also might want to start substituting to lighter forms of caffeine like tea or green tea. Again, if you're sensitive to caffeine, those options you might want to swap for some herbal teas. Now as we go into the later afternoon and into the early evening, this is a really good time to start moving away the lights that really impact the eyes. Because think about it. Again, our natural human being sleep cycle was around sunrise and sunset. So when we were seeing light, white and blue light, this wasn't the natural lights that we were getting from nature. So white and blue light stimulates our brain and tells our brain that we should be awake and alert. Red lights, the soft lights that we can get from candlelight, that's okay to have in the evening. So you might now want to start thinking about, in the later afternoon and this evening, to start thinking about how you can filter out some of those toxic lights from your eyes. So TVs, laptops, phones, these are all things that are going to be stimulating your eyes in the early evening and really keeping you awake. So you can get those light blocking glasses now. They're really great for filtering out some of those toxic lights. Also, there's some great apps that you can download like Flux, F-L-U-X, that you can download onto your laptop, your computer, or even on your phone to help filtering out those lights. Start thinking about dimming your lights and switching to softer lights in the early evenings. Also start thinking of things that could help your body to start calming down. So that could be things like herbal teas that are very soothing, like chamomile tea, like lavender sprays. These are really soothing and allow your body to go into the parasympathetic system, which is really about resting and relaxing and not releasing more energy. Also, if you're the sort of person that feels tired and wired, sometimes that might come later on, this is a really good sign that you're used to overusing your adrenals. So your adrenals will be pumping out that little bit of adrenaline for you, and so that's what gives you that extra little fix of energy a little bit later. We don't want to use the adrenals. We don't want to burn them out. We want to use your body's natural energy source. And in order to do that, we need to make sure that it gets good quality sleep. Also think about exercise. If you have a habit of exercising in the evening, remember exercise, especially in those high intensity ones, can release cortisol. And sleep is a very delicate balance between cortisol and melatonin. So when we're releasing cortisol, we don't release as much melatonin. Now, as we go into the early evening, we want to stimulate the body to release melatonin because that's what allows us to get into that deep quality restorative sleep, that REM, which is really the quality sleep that we're looking for. So things like exercise, it's really ideal if you need to have that movement to go for really softer forms of exercise that's not going to release a lot of adrenaline. So if you can, you could shift your movement practice to the morning, and if you do need to take movement, you might need to just go for a slow walk or do something that's like stretching that's really soft on the body. We really want to think about the yin and the yang. So the yang things that are very powerful, a lot of action, a lot of force, a lot of attention, those things are really, we talked about masculine energy. And if you've been using a lot of yang through the day, in the evening you're going to need a lot of yin to balance out. So really utilizing more of those feminine energies to go softer and slower and allow your body to take that natural balance so it can ease down in the evening. Think about when a baby has got to go to sleep, think about how do we create good sleep hygiene for the baby. So the baby gets to eat dinner, the baby, maybe the digestive system is stimulated by some burping, everybody's voice gets turned down, no loud noise, music, TVs in the background. The baby might even get a book or some soft music to help it go to sleep. What's the difference between you and a baby? Okay. But look at it. You are still human, just like a baby, and you also need time to unwind. So now when we go into that late evening, we definitely want to make sure that we keep around a 3-hour window between our last meal and sleeping, so that our body is not sending energy to digest a load of food. Instead, it can use that energy to restore the body as it goes to sleep. We've already maybe looked at some of the things that can support us in sleep, like herbal teas, maybe lavender, some oils that really help us to soothe. You might want to put on soft music, you might want to read a book, but we really need to put away the phone, the laptop, all of that has got to go off. When the sun sets, it's time to unwind. Now, as we get into sleep, sleep is our natural form of surrender. So if you've been trying to control everything in your life, if you've had stress through the day and you've not done some of the things that I know that we've talked about now, so you've been working really hard at this, you've looked at the relationships in your life that are taking a lot of energy, you've looked at your work and your purpose and looked at how is it impacting how you feel, you've explored your emotions and had the feelings of what's coming up for me, what are the signs that my body is telling me. You've looked at those lifestyle patterns like even movement and exercise and what is the best time of day to do that. So when you go to bed, what we get to see here is, are we able to surrender? This is our natural form of surrender. When we get into the bed, our subconscious brain tells us, is there anything that you didn't deal with? So you might have been keeping yourself busy through the day, trying to control everything, trying to get things done, trying to keep yourself busy from having to think about those things that you need to address. But when your head hits that pillow, there they are. All those things that you didn't deal with. All now in that natural form of surrender, stopping you from going to sleep. So one of the most amazing practices that we can talk about here is that journaling practice. Allowing us to take that from our mind and putting it on a piece of paper can really just be that thing that you need to really support you in able to switch off and sleep. So when we get into this mode of surrender, we really now can just allow our body to ease into what's completely natural for our body, which is the need to want to sleep. Now, we know that insomnia is really a sign of us not having those good sleep hygiene practices. So by working on those things throughout the day, this is going to really allow us to now just naturally fall into this deep sleep. This is going to allow you now to reset, to energize, and to give your body what it so really need, which is that beautiful time just to rest, to switch off from anything external, and to really just give it exactly what it deserves. Crucial sleep.